Hi, I'm Rob Dewar, Vice-President, General Manager of CSeries here from Mirabel. I'm here today with Graham Webb, who's Vice-President from Pratt & Whitney for the PW1000G. So we're here today to, Graham will give an update on the engine side, and I'll give an update on the program side, and more importantly, the return to the flight test program. So a quick recap. So as you know, the incident occurred on May 29th. It occurred during stationary ground runs while we're doing maintenance checks on the engine. So while there was damage, of course, sustained on the left-hand engine, the aircraft, I would say, survived remarkably well, and that's important because it really proves out the design of the aircraft. On the system side, there were no failures, no messages in the cockpit. On the structure side, there was some damage to the left-hand carbon fiber wing. But again, less than expected, and the full structural integrity was retained, so that's good news on that side. And on the fuselage, in fact, there were no sustained damage, so good result overall. So following the incident, of course, we paused the flight test program to give the teams the time needed to really assess actually what happened, to really take the appropriate actions to return safely to the flight test program with a robust and solid solution. So what I can say now is working together with Pratt very closely, we do of course have a full understanding of the incident, and we have now an agreed go forward plan. So I'm going to hand it over to Graham Webb, who will give us an update from the engine side. Graham?
Thanks, Rob. The Pratt & Whitney team wants to thank you and the entire Bombardier team for the strong support, and more importantly for everyone's dedication and efforts over the past weeks. Pratt & Whitney has worked in close cooperation with Bombardier to fully understand the event of May 29th. We have implemented an appropriate solution and now have delivered engines to Bombardier for flight testing. We are very pleased to be standing here as they announce the imminent resumption of flight testing. The fundamental architecture of the geared turbofan engine remains rock solid, and the incident did not involve either the fan drive gear system or the low pressure turbine disc. The joint resolution efforts are testimony to the rigor that Pratt & Whitney and Bombardier are taking to ensure that both the C-Series aircraft and the geared turbofan engines not only deliver world-class performance, but are durable, reliable, and robust when they enter into service. With over 10,000 hours of ground and flight testing, the Pure Power engines will meet all performance commitments that enable the C-Series aircraft to deliver double-digit improvements in fuel burn, noise, and emissions, with the highest level of maturity of the new generation of advanced commercial engines being developed in the industry. Pratt & Whitney has built its reputation for delivering dependable engines, and the geared turbofan engines for the C-Series aircraft are no different. The C-Series is a great aircraft, and we are extremely proud to have our engines powering it.
Me too. Thanks, Graham. Thank you.
Thank you.
As you can see, the engines have been returned to us, and they're actually now installed onto FTV2. And following our normal procedure for ground runs and preparation for flight, we now expect to return to flight test in September. So following the return to flight of FTV2, FTV4 will follow on, then FTV1 and FTV3, which will return to flight this fall. Basically, a little bit more details on FTV1, as that one was the one that underwent repairs. Of course, the repairs are going really well. They're nearing completion as we speak, so very satisfied. It was also a good opportunity for our team from Belfast to really repair a carbon fiber wing, get that practice in early, and so basically satisfied with how that turned out for us. So, of course, we never like to have these events, but that's why we do flight testing. That's why we do a rigorous ground test, flight test, really make sure that aircraft engines are robust when it goes into service. So good to have behind us, and now we look forward to returning a flight test and getting ready for the entry into service. So one of the key points I want to stress is that on the modifications that were made to the engine, is the good news is there's no impact whatsoever to the performance, meaning that the thrust is on track, the fuel burn, emissions, and noise are all on track to spec, so that's great news. So Pratt's done a really good job actually in finding the solution going forward. The key point I want to bring to your attention is really during the flight test pause, we did everything possible to advance the program, meaning we did extensive testing on the ground, validations, we did upgrade to the aircraft, both from a software point of view and a hardware point of view. And also we took advantage of the downtime to do some maintenance checks on the aircraft with our customer support teams and some of our customers that normally would happen later in the program. So really try to maximize the use of time that we had available to us. Despite, of course, the pause to the flight test program, we are still intent on entering the service in the second half of 2015 for the CS100. And we're also confident that the CS300 will follow approximately 6 months later. We will, of course, be closely monitoring the flight test progress and the overall schedule, and we will be providing regular updates. So thanks for tuning in, and continue watching us on CSeries.com. More news and interesting material will be coming shortly, and much more regularly now. And I want to thank Graham for joining us, and thanks for all your great work, Graham. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks.